Hello, everyone. This is Bruno with a new segment called 10 Minutes or Less with Bruno No BS. A very simple, casual interview, no fancy cameras. Today, I have John from NRCA. How you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty good, Bruno. How are you?
Tell me, how long have you been in the roofing industry?
So I've been working with the roofing industry for about 3 years now. Prior to working with NRCA, I developed the roofing curriculum for the National Center for Construction Education and Research. But before that, I spent a summer hammering shingles on a roof in Florida. So all in all, I like to say it's around 3 years.
Okay, tell me, when did you realize roofing would be a career for you?
So when I started doing the research for the roofing curriculum, I realized that everyone I was talking to, both on the installer side, on the contractor side, everyone at NRCA even, I realized that, like, wait a second, these are people who are truly dedicated to their mission and advancing the industry as a whole, and selflessly in that way. So at that point, I realized that I wanted to be working with people like that for the rest of my life.
That's awesome. Can you tell me your job description? What do you do for NRCA?
Sure, absolutely. I serve as the director of workforce development. So it's my job to develop and promote trainings that are going to not only bring the new people into the industry and make them very successful, but also try to create solutions for contractors and members so they don't have to generate their own trainings anymore. They can already go to a place where there is a solution that's dedicated and formed for their business so they can keep doing what they do best.
When you talk about training, what type of trainings are you talking about? Is that the pro certification programs the NRCA created?
Well, we want it to all lead to pro certification. Pro certification being the top of the top. This is a mastery level exam, which means that you are excellent. But even this program right here, the NCCER roofing curriculum that NRCA partnered in the creation of, but this will get you knowledge ready for pro certification. So, but this is a brand new program. The second level of this book just came out less than 2 months ago. So awesome. There's a lot of conversations about, okay, now there's a solution to get someone ready for pro certification. And that's a very exciting part. It doesn't necessarily have to be college. You can actually get the training for this when you're in high school if you attend a career and technical education school. So you don't have to wait until college, but the completion of this program right here actually gives you 27 hours of college credits. But yes, the same way that an electrician has to study for 4 years, or a plumber or a carpenter has to study for 4 years. Until very recently, there wasn't a curriculum like that for the roofing industry to get someone ready for that. And it is very important, as you mentioned, to have that training. So when people look around at the trades, they see that roofing is holding its people up to the same high standard that an electrician or an HVAC professional might do. And that's very important for us.
So you told me a little bit, when we talked before, you told me a little bit about some of your passions you have. So what kind of passions you have that you can share to us and then might be able to help our industry?
Sure. Well, I personally believe that my background was in education. I was an alternative high school teacher, which means if you got expelled from public school, you came to Mr. Esbenshade's class, except they never pronounced it right. It was always Evershade or something, but they never got that right. And when I was sitting in those classes and delivering those lectures and really trying to teach and help these people, I knew that some of them just aren't necessarily made for the classroom setting. That's not going to be where they thrive. That's not going to be where they are exercising the highest form of their intelligence. They're kinesthetic learners. They want to be hands-on. And so even from being a teacher at those times, I was always encouraging people to pursue the trades because you could find a career that's going to pay you well and that's going to reward the fact that you have this intelligence, this capacity, and this ambition to push yourself. And so I really believe the trades, but specifically the roofing industry, is the best solution for those people who want to break out, do something of their own, and build something that matters.
What do you see for the future of our industry, for the new generation coming up right now?
Sure. I think that the roofing industry, with its flexibility, is really a draw to people in the Gen Z and millennial generations because it allows them the option for task identity, to be able to look at something that they've done on a job site while they're driving past, say, like, I did that. We all know that roofers do this. This is just something that's, that's in the blood. But it's very important for Gen Z workers to have that task identity. You know, the idea of flipping burgers or bussing tables, I've had some of those jobs. It's just endless. You don't have a tangible representation of that work and that effort that you dedicated. So why the hell would you try to get any better at it? For the roofing industry, you can look at a roof that if you put shingles on, you say like, that roof's going to be good for 40 years. If you put down thermoplastic, that's going to be good for 15 to 20 years. And that's a really important thing. And I think that the roofing industry being able to cue in on that, be flexible with how they recruit and hire and train new people is really going to be what kind of takes us from this period of turmoil and difficulty into, you know, what the next great age of the roofing industry is going to be.
Anything NRCA is working on it, or include, or maybe yourself, anything coming up soon?
Well, I can't make it a 10-minute conversation without talking about SkillsUSA, and this conversation is no different. NRCA is working to launch a national student roofing competition. They will be putting down a thermoplastic membrane on the same mock-up that they'll be doing if they ever take their pro certification in thermoplastic. So we're creating this journey for the student to start in high school, putting down a thermoplastic membrane, and eventually being able to test for mastery in that by the time they're 20 years old. And so if you are interested in potentially working with us to launch a student roofing program in your community, call me, email me. There are contractors in 30 states right now that we're talking to who are dedicated to this mission. And I really believe that the next thing for us to do is to join the SkillsUSA competition block and make sure that roofing is well represented for years to come.
Hopefully that those messages or one of the video that I'm posting, you know, it get reach to parents or maybe teenagers.
Well, you can contact me via email. You can also go to NRCA's website and take a look at our workforce recruitment toolkit. It'll give you salary information. And I'm sad to say this, but you can be a new installer and make more money than I did in 3 out of my 6 years teaching. So the opportunity is there, but it's not just about installing. It's about, you know, sales. It's about estimating. And eventually it's about an entrepreneurial spirit, starting your own business. And I think that the sooner that parents and families realize that, look, the roofing industry has a lot of options for a lot of different kinds of people. But the one thing that you will find consistent is that they will care for your child, for your family, and hope that your success ushers in the next step in terms of advancing the industry as a whole.
You can see how many great people in our industry, you know, making millions and millions of dollars. You know, I wish I was one of them, but maybe one day I will be one.
Well, I mean, we're both young, we're both keep working, and that's something that most industries will reward. But that's been the same way with a lot of industries, you know, like electricians, plumbers, they had to deal with all that stuff too. So in the roofing industry, we know we're making steps in the right direction, and we know at the end, the difference between indoors and outdoors is the roof. You know, you need a roof, otherwise it's just a fence. So I really think that there's a lot of options there, and I'm really excited to potentially work with the people who are, you know, watching this and figure out how might I fit into, you know, this industry. I really think that we could have some interesting conversations together.
Thank you so much. Next time I'm in Chicago, lunch is on me, all right?
All right, but then drinks are on me after.
All right. Be safe, brother.